grace for each of us. And we realize even on this day that you're worthy of all the praise. So we take it not for granted the moment in which you've given us your grace, your mercy, and your kindness. Speak to us this morning as only you can. Be careful to give your name the praise, the honor, and the glory. Send powerful and yet majestic name of the risen Christ we pray. Amen. Come on, put your hands together and tell God thank you one more time. Amen. The gospel according to physician Luke, chapter number 8. Luke chapter 8. Luke chapter 8, starting at verse number 41. Try to pull a gallon in a pint the best we can. When you have to say, I got it. Luke chapter 8, starting at verse 41. Reading from the open Bible this morning, so it may read slightly different than yours. Verse 41 said, and behold, there came a man named Jairus. And he was a ruler of the synagogues, and he fell down at Jesus' feet and begged him to come to his house. For he had only a daughter, about 12 years of age, and she was dying. But as he went, the multitude thronged him. Now a woman, having a flow of blood for 12 years, who had spent all her livelihood on physicians and could not be healed by any, came from behind and touched the border of his garment. And immediately her flow of blood stopped. Jesus said, who touched me? When all denied it, Peter and those with him said, Master, the multitude thronged you and pressed you, and you say, who touched me? Jesus said, somebody touched me. For I perceived power going out from me. And now when the woman saw that she was not hidden, she came trembling, falling down before him. She declared to him in the presence of all the people the reason she had touched him and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, daughter, be of good cheer. Your faith, somebody shout faith, has made you well. Go in peace. Continue reading verse 49. And while he was yet still speaking, someone came from the ruler of the synagogue's house, saying to him, your daughter is dead. Do not trouble the teacher. But when Jesus heard it, he answered him, saying, do not be afraid. What? Only believe. She will be made well. Grass withers, flower fades. The word of our God shall stand forever. We like to tag this text for the moments in which we have in the form of a question. When things don't look good. Things don't look good. Along the same lines of thinking as we've challenged you in the past weeks to focus your heart, mind, and soul and spirit to live a life of faith. We tried our best as God to position you as a believer to walk, live by faith. And as you look at how life has positioned many of us, we've been challenged to know that faith, in its totality or in parts of our understanding, is simply having absolute confidence in God. Understanding that there's no room, no margin of error, no room for wavering, no opportunities for you to sidestep. At the end of the day, you're saying, for God I live.
Yes, sir.
For God I will die. You're literally saying by faith, as it relates to my faith in God, I trust you, Lord.
Yes.
And I'm totally relying upon who you are in my life.
Yes, sir.
And I'm challenging our church to move and live your life on purpose with an intense and intentional mindset to know that God is able to do just what he said he would do. In order for you to stand firm, in order for you to grasp that notion and concept, you got to first of all know how sovereign God is.
Yeah.
Sovereign meaning that he's all-knowing, he's all-sufficient. In him can nothing be added or taken away. And nowhere, no how can anybody compare to the sovereignty or the sovereignty of God. You know that he's an absolute.
Yes.
Not only the God that we serve, you got to know him for yourself, but you got to believe his word. When you believe his word, you believe in who he is. And if his word has declared it, if his word has said it, you are not going to waver from it. And I believe that we are people that are desperate in situations. So desperate to the point that you got to live a life that pleases God. Oh yeah, it's the Hebrew writer that said that without faith, it's impossible to please God. Because if you are pleasing God, if you're living a life that's where God is worth bragging about, you're going to live a life in pursuit of the things of God. And I tell you, a faith that forgets and a faith that denies oneself is a faith that can't be trusted. I just said something and you missed it. I said a faith that forgets and denies oneself and has no consideration of the power of God or the presence of God is not a faith worth having. But I've come to realize that there has been in times past where this novel principle or concept to many of us is that the only way that you're able to survive, the only way that you're able to make it is that you got to be strong. Can I tell you, people of God, I've seen some strong people give up. I wish I had a fair church. I've seen in my lifetime some that have been strong that did not even survive. Yet I would suggest to you this morning that there can be an addendum to this principle where they talk about only the strong survive by saying to you that if you're going to be faithful to Christ, then you survive. Can I get a real witness right there? Simply because this biblical principle will always supersede what man thinks. Because while we are yet living in a dysfunctional and crazy and chaotic and corrupt world, there are some people of faith that are willing to endure and still press on even when it don't look favorable. We are not in this world for a season just to make it through, but we're here for a season so that we can get through what we're going through, that God can be glorified in our lives. You better preach, Lord. So beloved, I implore you, I trust you, and ask that you would trust in the God of your salvation and lean not to your understanding no matter what you are facing. Somebody say, I'm going to get through it. Even when it don't look favorable, even when it don't look possible, even when it is in a desperate situation. Can I tell you? Faith is that personal trust and confidence in God. Say it one more time. Just shout at me. Faith is that personal trust and confidence in God. That if God don't do it, it can't be done. Oh, help me, Holy Ghost. I said if God don't do it, it cannot be done. I believe there's an equation, Lady P, that I need to lay before you as we set the foundation of where we're going in the totality of this message as we intervene on this casual walk that Jairus has in the midst of a desperate situation. If you're going to get through what you're going through when things don't look good, you got to have desperate faith and a stubborn faith. Said you got to have a desperate faith and a stubborn faith.
Yeah.
See, in difficult cases, come on somebody, it requires a desperate faith and a stubborn faith.
Yes.
Well, Pastor, what's a desperate faith? A desperate faith is a faith that forgets and denies oneself and that seeks Jesus no matter the cost. I said a desperate faith is a faith that forgets and denies oneself and says, literally, it's not about me, but no matter what it costs, I'm going to trust in Jesus. Somebody shout a desperate faith. That desperate faith is when your back is up against the wall. Come on, somebody. You have no other way to get out but Jesus. Come on, somebody. I'm talking about when all of your money is spent and you still got more money. Somebody shout a desperate faith. That's saying, Jesus, I need you to do it. I've exhausted every other opportunity. I've tapped into everything I can tap into. I've called everybody I can call, and nobody seems to be able to prevail on my behalf. Jesus, I need you to do it. Is there anybody here ever had to exercise a desperate faith? Tears in your eyes, money funny. Come on, somebody. Aches and pains, and yet you said, God, I need thee every hour. Don't push me. Close to the edge. Somebody shout a desperate faith. Literally teaches us to understand that it's Jesus or not. Not that I have options. I wish I had a fair church. I said, not that I got options, but you're saying if Jesus don't do it, it can't get done. See, when you exercise a desperate faith, add that to a stubborn faith. What do you mean, Pastor, stubborn faith? That I believe Jesus' word. Oh, God, I feel like preaching right there. In other words, that I believe just what he said. Oh, hallelujah. That I'm not concerned about the current condition of my situation, but I'm concerned about the character of my Christ. Somebody missed that. See, you keep looking around instead of looking unto. But y'all shout with me. I said, you keep looking around at the current condition or situation that's around you versus looking unto the Christ. I'll look unto the hills which come in my help, because all of my help. I believe Jesus' word. And I'm going to take him at his word. I know what he said. I know what I read. I know what he promised. And I'm going to take him at his word. If I can put it in your lap, I say you almost stuck on stupid about Jesus. I know they walked in the room, come on somebody, and said that that's all that they can do for your loved one. You see them hooked up and locked up against all of the different apparatuses that's trying to keep them and give them life. But I'm a living witness and stubborn enough to believe. I don't care what the report of the doctor says. I don't care how many machines you see locked up in there. I'm just stuck on stupid about Jesus to believe that he's still able to lift up. I'm trying to poll the church to find out this morning, is there anybody in the UBC church that got a desperate faith? Anybody here got a stubborn faith? Can I tell you what a desperate and stubborn faith does? It produces a reward of faith. Glory. Somebody shout, the reward is mine. The reward is mine. Thank you, Lord. Here in our text. That was a good introduction. Here in our text, we have this ruler who has a desperate, God help me, situation. And what's his desperate situation? He's a ruler of the synagogue. He's one in a high position. He's a religious official that really does not have anything to do with Jesus. He's here as a centurion warrior, a centurion soldier that was made of the Jews. And he's in this desperate situation because his one and only daughter, about 12 years of age, is lying at the point of death. And the reason that Jairus came to Jesus for help was twofold. One, because of the health reason. What's the health reason, Pastor? His daughter, God help my wife, is lying at the point of death. His daughter is very sick. His daughter is in a messed up situation. Come on, talk to me. So he had a health reason for seeking out Jesus with stubborn faith, but he also had a heart reason. Because his one and only daughter, the young girl, the only daughter, was affectionate and would be a blessing to him in his whole life, and that thing caused him to do something unseemly.
My Lord, my Lord, my Lord.
He's in a messed up situation. And I tell you, things wasn't looking too good. Not only was things not looking too good, not only did he have to exercise a desperate faith coupled with a stubborn faith, because he was believing Jesus' word, a word that he didn't even know. Y'all don't hear me? But one thing you got to understand, if you're going to make it in the season in which we're now in, if you're going to make it through some difficult moments, if you're going to make it to a place where you're able to embrace a rewarded faith, a faith that's rewarded, a faith that's rewarded, you got to be in a place, a posture, a position where you are resiliently patient. Somebody say resiliently patient. What do you mean, Pastor, resiliently patient? Because text teacher said when Jairus goes to get Jesus, and Jesus is on his way to the house, and in the midst of him going to the house to deal with the dying daughter of one, the issue of blood interrupts the situation. Y'all don't hear me preaching. He's interrupted by this woman with the issue of blood. I wish I had somebody that knows that sometimes you'll have some interruptions. Sometimes in your life you'll face some interruption. Sometimes in your life you'll face some situations that are out of your control. You believe that the healing is coming. You believe that the deliverance is on the way, and somehow or another it's delayed. My question this morning is, how do you handle the interruptions? Can I talk to y'all about interruptions for a hot second? What's the interruption? You're in school. Doing good. Am I preaching yet? And while you're in school and you're doing fairly okay, you see yourself at graduation. And then somebody gets sick. And you gotta drop out of school. Y'all don't hear me. That's an interruption, ain't it? I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you're working good, money flowing all right, and then you gotta take a leave of absence to take care of a sick loved one? Interruption. Riding good, living good, and in a flat. I'm just trying to make sure you see what I mean by interruption. I mean, you've been doing good and then you slacked off. I wish I had a fair church. You slacked off, you messed up, you partied a little bit more than you supposed to have been partying, and then you fell below the grade point happens where you lost your scholarship, you lost your Pell Grant, that financial aid wasn't in play, you got kicked out of school, they wouldn't let you in. Somebody talk about interruptions. And in the midst of that interruption, you was able to get yourself back together again, get back in school and do better than you did beforehand. Anybody know about interruptions?
Yes.
Interruption. Somebody shout interruption. But see, when you're resiliently patient, you're able to endure interruption. I waited patiently on the Lord, and he heard my cry. Wait patiently on your turn. Somebody shout, I'm waiting on my turn. No matter how long it takes. Understand the concept, understand the principle. Jesus is on his way to the house with Jairus that he may heal the baby that's sick. And he's interrupted on the way to the house by another woman's issue. I wish I had time to talk about another woman's issue. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Another woman's issue. Always celebrate what somebody else got going on and nobody celebrates you. I'm making this longer than it has to be. Come on, somebody. But see, when you're resiliently patient, you you know how to handle the interruption.
Yes.
Not only do we see how they are resiliently patient because the woman interrupts what Jesus was on his way to, but because of the past performances of the God in which we serve, you also got to be reassured by the past.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You say it one more time. You got to be reassured by the past. You ain't closed your Bibles yet. I got something in my Bible.
Come on.
Can I pull something out of my Bible?
Yes, sir.
I believe it's around chapter 7. And verse 15.
Yeah.
Chapter 7, verse 15.
All right.
And he who was dead sat up and began to speak. And he presented him to his mother. Well, you must don't understand what's going on in that text. Because in this text, Jesus has seen that this boy is dead. They're on their way to bury him in the funeral procession. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying?
Yes.
And Jesus raises this boy from the dead and gives him back to his mama. Y'all miss the chapter. That's in chapter 7. Now we're over here in chapter 8. And y'all gonna hear me preach this morning. And in chapter 8, he's on his way to the house to heal Jairus' daughter, who's lying at the point of death, but get interrupted. You don't know when to shout, do you? I said, you don't know when to shout, do you? Because if you remember the past performances of God, if he already raised somebody up that was already dead, come on somebody, and you are able to face and deal with the interruption, you are reassured by what he's done before. Well, let me see if I can put it in your life. But he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So if he healed yesterday, he's healing today, he'll be healing in the morning. Don't give up on God, because he won't. Jesus. A few more minutes.
You gotta preach this morning.
Jesus stops the funeral procession and raises his woman's son.
Yeah.
And what he's done before,
Yes, he
he can do it again.
Yes, yes, he
I
will.
wish I had a church that came to have church.
Yes, sir.
The daughter is lying at the point of death.
Yeah.
She ain't dead yet.
She did. She
Still
did.
slow, y'all. Y'all brutal dogs. Oh, y'all brutal dogs.
Yes, Lord.
Carrie, he's on his way to heal the sick man.
Yeah.
But the past performance is he raised
Somebody from dead. Yeah.
and if he didn't get a dad boy up, he can heal some sickness. Y'all don't know when to shout. You over here crying about your money being funny, your hands being straight. Come on, somebody. You whining about a little bill. Come on, somebody. And he raising dead folk. You ought to be reassured by the past performance of the God in which you serve. So when things don't look good, you got to be resiliently patient. Where you handle the interruptions, knowing that it might not be your time, it might not be your turn, but it's on the way. Then when you are reassured by the past, because of what he's done before, he can do it again. You learn how, when things don't look good, to respond under pressure. I just preached all good. Somebody say respond under pressure. That's why I want to get you today. I'm going. I ain't gonna even holler because I sure feel like it, but I'll wait for later. If you ain't close your Bible, look with me. In verse 49. I ain't quite ready yet. While he was still speaking, someone came from the rulers of the synagogue's house, saying to him, your daughter is dead.
Yeah.
Do not trouble the teacher. But when he heard it, he answered and said, this is what Jesus said, don't be afraid,
That's right.
only believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He was already interrupted by the woman
Uh-huh.
on his way.
Right.
I need you to paint the picture, so then I need you to see. The healer is with me to get to my house to heal my daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
All my hope is in the healer. Getting there in enough time to deal with my desperate situation. But I got desperate faith.
Yeah.
I got a stubborn faith.
Yes.
And we walk into the house. I got to face this interruption. Y'all don't know me.
Come on. Go ahead.
And if it was me and mine, anybody help me?
Go ahead.
Me and that woman would have had some issues.
Yeah.
Because you are blocking my blessing.
Yeah.
You slow it down
Come on.
my progress.
Yeah.
You're hindering the one that's going to help me in my situation. He deals with the woman. Lets her get blessed. But we keep on walking.
Come on.
Y'all get me?
Go ahead.
And in order for me to respond under pressure, while we on our way, y'all got interrupted. Don't lose that. Somebody come from my house
Yeah.
to meet me on the way with the healer
Come on.
and said, oh, hold up,
All right.
your daughter
He did.
is dead. Y'all know what I'm
Come on.
saying. The flush in my mind is thinking and saying, if that doggone woman
Yeah. Had me anyway.
had interrupted me,
That's it.
could it been possible
That's it.
we'd have made it to the house in time? But see, you got to understand that the faithful believer has to learn how to respond, come on somebody, under pressure.
Yeah.
Because it's not what people say or do to you, it's how you respond to it.
Yeah.
When they tell him, hey, don't bother the master anymore because your daughter is dead and all is over, all is lost. Come on somebody. The text said while he was yet speaking, Jesus speaks up. Jesus says in essence, don't listen to that foolishness. All I come to tell you this morning,
Yes.
when things don't look good,
Yes.
don't listen to that foolishness. Jesus' response was only
Believe.
believe.
Yes.
The grass withers and the flower fades, and the word of our God shall stand forever. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for seed time and harvest. We thank you for the powerful presentation of you unto us through your word. That we understand how pertinent it is for us to be resiliently patient. Not only resiliently patient, but God, for us to be reassured by your past performances. And that no matter what comes, in the midst of us getting to where we need to get to, that we have an active faith that reassures us on how to respond under pressure. We're tailored to be taught. She may not come when we want you, but you're always a God that's on time. And we pray, God, that your people would respond appropriately to the current conditions and say, yeah, I'll trust you. Bless us now with our prayer. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Come on, put your hands